I have talked about shutdown of the government as many others, and we don't want to overkill this issue. However, one of the main issue that I decided to talk to you about is the SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. That is very important, and one of the main reasons. There are so many reasons, such as national security, national intelligence, post office, other worker. Everybody is important, and every work is essential in this country, regardless of what we think. Think about drivers. Think about taxi drivers that they might not be on the government payroll, but you and me should receive our money or funding to pay for those services. So it's very important to understand the issue of the shutdown. The principle of the shutdown is a democratic issue, is because of our democracy that the Congress, as a representative of the people, think and evaluate and add or delete some of the rules and regulations. And the president also, as our representative, has to agree and sign. So the United States Constitution give both branch, the executive branch and legislative branch, power to negotiate, withhold, release, modify, and change. So that's a democratic pillar. That's not a problem. However, now we are passing a month, more than 36 days or anything like that. And many of the workers are furloughed or they do not receive any salaries. There are some private funding, there are some reserve funding, but that's not uh, enough or suffice to have this country run because this country needs health, this country needs social security, this country needs intelligence, this country needs defense, and many, many other, and education as well. But remember, no matter what, the government must be reopened, and both branches must negotiate, compromise, and have this country run, and then, based on the democratic decision and constitutional decision, come up with a better plan. The One of the main issue of any government or any nation is food security. It doesn't mean that the job security is not important. It doesn't mean that the physical security and intelligence of the country is not important. But food security is not only to participate in a SNAP. The food security is when the chain of production, chain of distribution, and chain of utilization all being preserved for the nation. Remember, we are a few million short of 400 million individuals in the United States, and feeding almost 400 million, 375 or something in that neighborhood is not an easy task. Maintaining the groceries, maintaining the supply chain, maintaining the agricultural system, maintaining the import and export. These are all part of the first, the part of the food security, and the food security directly related to the health of the nation. The healthy nation is the nation who financially and nutritionally are stable, so they can innovate, they can invent, they can persevere, they can sustain, and they can work. Let me give you some numbers. uh, almost 42 million in United States are eligible for food security. The way they calculate, they look at the average income for the individual and for the household, and what they do is they do the line of poverty, and then they go 130% below that. So these people are in need of this supplement and support of the government, and based on that, they provide some monthly payment. The SNAP cost United States almost $100 billion a year. One of the things about this is that there is a some adding to the new legislation that over the next 10 years there is going to be an close to 189 billion over the course of the 10 years reduction in the SNAP, but more work requirement. Another portion of this would be the immigrants. Immigration is one of the human rights component or principle. Every individual globally has right to choose where to live, and many choose to go to the country that are more blessed, or they have more means to support their citizens. However, this immigration must be based on the equitable and fair process. There are some quota, there are some requirements that everybody should meet. However, when they are in the country, whether it's the United States of America or France or Turkey, the government has to provide minimal or basic need, including food, including education and health, because eventually they are become citizen of this country or that country. Immigration is illegal, as I mentioned it, and is a right, but also each country has their sovereignty, their quota for the living, and they have also obligation to maintain all the quality that we mentioned before for their citizen. So you can understand how delicate the issue is. So between immigration, that's going to be 10 million or 20 million, 40 million, already 42 million already participate in this program. So it's going to be a big burden on the financial system of each country. Then the higher number of the immigrant, the higher the dollar amount to be spent. However, that's one of the beauty of the United States of America, because United States of America is one of the leading country in supporting the low income individual. Many government doing it. Some of them better than United States, but with the same token, they have many less individual, and some of them might not even have immigration or have a very few immigration per year. So understanding these numbers is very important, and the cost of this program. The average household asset for a family of three, I believe, is almost 2,800, and if you have elderly and senior, is 4,000. So that also has been looked at, that if you do have seniors and elderly in your family, you must have some basic reserve, which is 4,000, and above and beyond that, you might not be eligible. But the argument between the executive branch and the legislative branch is this: that if we include all the people that are uh, capable to work, then we don't need that much SNAP. And if we reduce or do not provide the those people who are illegally in this country or they are waiting to become legal, that also might eat up most of the SNAP. So many United States citizens kind of remained out of the support of the government. So it's a very delicate. It's nobody's fault, but everybody's guilty in this. So next time we talk about this, we have to talk to our representative. We have to talk to our president and tell them that we understand because everybody give you numbers and all of these numbers that I mentioned to you, I research it a number of the times, and these are the backbone and the bottom line. But there are so many other issues with regard to immigration that is correct. Some is incorrect, such as seasonal workers, such as those that come and work or send money to their country, but they do not pay tax. And also, this money, that 100 million, comes from the tax money that every single individual pays. So next time you are sitting and talking about this, be aware. Do not blame any branches, whether executive or legislative. But we should ask questions and we ask them to resolve this issue very quickly because we do not want anybody in this country to stay hungry. Nobody should stay hungry, even if they are illegal. But there should be limit to their stay. It cannot be the open-ended stay because 400 million, providing for 400 million, regardless of the subsidized, because in any rate, many of these are subsidized by government. And that's the function of the government. But we are blessed because this country has resources and has very active population, but we need to keep it that way. So let's not to criticize that much. Yes, criticize, but actively involve, actively ask questions, and also if we can provide some solution, we should we should talk. We should talk like this with people and let them know that what we can do. We can all call and we can ask questions, and also we have right to vote, but don't make it a partisan issue. It's nothing to do with the Democrat. It's nothing to do with the Republican. It has something to do with the freedom and security, food security, and country security, but with a different version. What is the best version? Let's think and talk.